Hey, welcome to another episode of Cutter One. I am your host, Jay Just Jay, your resident troublemaker and your resident culture warrior. I hope you are all doing well, you beautiful badasses. Um, didn't have any videos come out yesterday. That was intentional because I was kind of, well, between the day job and some stuff I was taking care of, I didn't really have time to sit down and do anything. But it's interesting how things sort of happen. While I was busy doing real world stuff, a bunch of stories came out, and actually most of them are from Monday, but they just sort of hit my radar yesterday. And so let's just take a look at them. And I don't want to go too heavily into any one particular story, but sort of discuss how they might all play into each other. I mean, the first one we have here is coming to us from the folks over at Bounding Into Comics. And it is, after extremely poor viewership ratings, Disney to push first two episodes of Andor to ABC, FX, Hulu, and Freeform. The Walt Disney Company announced that they will release the first two episodes of their latest Star Wars series, Andor, to ABC, Freeform, FX, and Hulu as the show's ratings sit in the toilet. Andor's viewership ratings have been at the bottom or even off the charts of Nielsen's top 10 streaming series since it initially released on Disney Plus back on September 21st. The first three episodes, which released together, only raked in 624 million minutes viewed. And there they show you Nielsen's listings. Okay, and yeah, okay. So then it says, these abysmal viewership numbers led YouTuber Valiant Renegade to declare Star Wars a dead brand. He stated, quote, "Take a look again at these terrible numbers for Andor, 624 million watch minutes, and soak it in, Disney, because you did this. Disney's animosity towards fans is exactly what they've received back, and even worse, they've received back a wealth of apathy from the Star Wars fandom. They just don't care anymore. You see, it doesn't matter how good Andor is," he explains. And again, I understand a lot of people like the show, and it's wonderful and one of the best Star Wars shows that they have made to this point, and that's great, and I'm happy that those fans are enjoying it. I'm not here to take that away from you. I'm strictly here looking at the business side of things. I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm reading the tea leaves, and they are just flat bad for Star Wars right now. The viewership numbers have only fallen from there. The most recent ratings for the week ending October 16th show Andor only bringing in 405 million minutes viewed. That's only good for 7th on Nielsen's original category behind She-Hulk and the Great British Baking Show. And you see it right there at number 7. With the ratings sagging and the Star Wars brand flagging, if not dead, as Valiant Renegade claims, the Walt Disney Company announced they will air the first two episodes of the series, Casa and That Would Be Me, on ABC, FX, Freeform, and Hulu. And then you see here the times for ABC on November 23rd from 9 to 10:30, so on and so forth. You see the times here. In a press release, Disney attempted to spin the release of the first two episodes as a celebration of the series finale, writing, quote, "To celebrate the highly anticipated Andor finale on Disney Plus and to help kick off the Thanksgiving holiday, the Walt Disney Company will offer viewers a special opportunity to watch the first two episodes of the acclaimed series across its unparalleled distribution platforms, including ABC, FX, Freeform, and Hulu." The official description for the series states, "The Andor series, set 5 years before the events of Rogue One, focuses on Cassian Andor and his journey toward becoming a rebel hero. The tale is set against the backdrop of a burgeoning rebellion against a ruthless empire where people and planets are drawn into a conflict that will have far-reaching effects across the galaxy. It's an era filled with danger, deception, and intrigue, and one that will test the courage and resolve of a reluctant hero determined to make a difference. The final two episodes have yet to debut. They will air on Disney Plus on the 16th and 23rd of November. All right, so there's that article, right? I just wanted to get through that one real quick. Then you also have, which came out on the same day, Disney CEO Bob Chapek confirms company undertaking massive cost-cutting measures in wake of poor Q4 financial report. After months of denying the realities of living in a recession, entertainment giant the Walt Disney Company is expected to make massive layoffs due to their poor financial outlook. As per a memo sent to top company execs last Friday and subsequently viewed by Variety, the House of Mouse will begin taking substantial measures to offset the company's recent and abysmal Q4 financial losses. While certain macroeconomic factors are out of our control, meeting these goals requires all of us to continue doing our part to manage the things we can control, most notably our costs, wrote Chapek to his fellow executives. You all will have critical roles to play in this effort, and as senior leaders, I know you will get it done. To accomplish these goals, the CEO announced that he had established a cost structure task force of executive officers, our CFO, Christine McCarthy, and General Counsel, Horatio Gutierrez. Along with me, this team will make the critical big picture decisions necessary to achieve our objectives, he declared. The measures set to be undertaken by this task force include a rigorous review of the company's content and marketing spending working with our content leaders and their teams, which seeks to ensure our investments are both efficient and come with tangible benefits to both audiences and the company. Limiting the headcount additions through a targeted hiring freeze and reviewing our SG&A costs. I don't know what SG&A is. I'm sorry, guys. As we work through this selling, general and administrative expenses evaluation process, we will look at every avenue of operations and labor to find savings, and we do anticipate some staff reductions as part of this review, the CEO added, before more definitively informing his team that, quote, in the immediate term, business travel should now be limited to essential trips only. I am fully aware this will be a difficult process for many of you and your teams, acknowledged Chapek. We are going to have to make tough and uncomfortable decisions, but that is just what leadership requires, and I thank you in advance for stepping up during this important time. Our company has weathered many challenges during our 100-year history, and I have no doubt we will achieve our goals and create a more nimble company better suited to the environment of tomorrow, he concluded. And there he is with Natalie Portman. Okay. Many believe that this review could affect Disney's tendency to give massive production budgets to productions pertaining to such properties as Star Wars and Marvel. This year, production spending for the Marvel Cinematic Universe hit an all-time high, with both Thor: Love and Thunder as well as Black Panther: Wakanda Forever hitting $250 million in costs before marketing, the highest such budgets for a non-Avengers film in the entire franchise. The massive costs of the film have driven Marvel Studios' average break-even mark for those films to be an estimated $700 to $800 million. But while Disney had a much better year at the box office compared to 2021, none of their 3 Marvel Cinematic Universe releases for 2022 managed, the aforementioned 2 as well as Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, to hit $1 billion worldwide. Further, the news of Disney's upcoming cost-cutting measures comes immediately after the company posted a poor quarterly earnings result for quarter 4 of 2022. Notably, the Mouse reported that the quarter starting in July and ending in October 1st had seen the company lose $1.47 billion on their streaming endeavors, roughly $800 million more than they had lost in the same period last year. Further, Disney's premium and broadcast television networks saw a 5% loss for the quarter. As a result of these abysmal earnings, Disney's stock price has tumbled 38% from its January high of $158 to a measly $94, its lowest price in more than 2 years. This slow but steady stock crash has coincided with Disney's quadrupling down on woke content, particularly in regards to their not at all secret agenda of putting gay and queer content in programs targeted at children. In the wake of Florida's parental rights in education bill that bans the teaching of sexual orientation and gender identity to K-3 students, Disney's internal LGBTQ lobby has made, quote-unquote, representation a priority for all future projects by the Walt Disney Corporation. Disney made LGBTQ representation a primary focus in the marketing of both Thor and Love and Thunder and Lightyear, and while the former film's gay content ultimately amounted to a blink and you'll miss it confirmation that Korg was married to a man due to his species being all male, the latter's was put front and center at every conversation concerning the Toy Story spin-off. Lightyear's queer staff, including animators and editors, shepherd the character to get it right, said director Angus MacLean during an interview with the LA Times earlier this year. There's a lot of really fantastic representation that means a lot more than I can understand. For them to be so excited about that and have it be so personal, it means a lot to me. However, for a multitude of reasons, including the company's virtue signaling around the children's films children films' inclusion of LGBT content, the film bombed at the worldwide box office, with its production ultimately losing Disney upwards of $100 million. When grilled about the aggressively progressive direction of the company during a recent appearance on the Wall Street Journal's Money, Business, and Power-centric podcast, The Journal, Chapek denied that the company had become too woke, instead affirming that Disney wants our content to reflect the rich, diverse world that we live in. I guess that's another way of saying catering to your audience, he continued, but the world is a rich, diverse place, and we want our content to reflect that, and we're so blessed to have the greatest content creators, and they see it similarly. While Chapek has claimed his company doesn't have an ideological bent, Brian Schwartz of CNBC recently reported that according to data from the nonpartisan political money watchdog organization, Open Secrets, the combined... Okay, I don't care who they donate their money to. That's their business. Okay, so what we have here is on the same day we get a story of Andor being shipped out to some of Disney's other owned subsidiaries, other channels that they own, okay? Notably ABC, FX, Hulu, and Freeform. And at the same time, we get these really bad Q4 numbers coming out to the point where Disney memos are going out telling people to cut back on traveling expenses. There's going to be hiring freezes. They're probably going to be, firing people. There's going to be massive layoffs. So it's interesting how these two things coincide. Then you factor in this last part, and I promise I'll make this quick. This is the story, and you've probably seen this on other channels. It's sort of being covered by everybody in the space, about Prime Video bribing Brazilians to watch The Rings of Power with food delivery service coupons. Long story short is if you have Prime Video down in Brazil, or let me rephrase that. If you don't have Prime Video down in Brazil, they are saying that if you subscribe or sign up for Prime Video and you agree to watch the first episode of The Rings of Power, they will give you a $30 iFood coupon that you can use, I guess, for foods. So basically saying, hey, if you sign up and watch the first episode of this show, we'll give you $30 in food, right? So clearly, it's a ploy, and you see they actually, that's the actual ad that you see there with the blue. It is in Spanish, and I don't speak that, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce anything because I know I would offend everybody with how bad I would butcher it. So, but the point being is that they're clearly trying to buy subscriptions to their service, to Amazon Prime Video, as well as drive up viewing numbers for The Rings of Power. Now, how does all of this tie in with Amazon doing this? Disney's poor, shitty numbers for Q4 and potential massive layoffs and travel expense restrictions and all sorts of, hiring freezes and whatnot, as well as Andor being pushed out to ABC, FX, Hulu, and Freeform. Well, for me, when you factor all of these things in together, it shows a trend forming that the days of these massive corporations, Amazon and Disney, particularly with the Marvel universe, that their days of just throwing money at it and we can have 3 crappy movies, but the 4th one will be $1 billion mega hit, like it was back when they were doing the whole lead up to the whole Thanos Endgame type of thing. So you could have a one-off crap movie and you would still have a bunch of good movies around it that were all coming close, if not breaking the $1 billion mark. Those days are over. So now what we're starting to see is you're seeing these shows underperform, like Andor specifically, Rings of Power specifically. They're underperforming, okay? And because so much money has been invested in these IPs, Star Wars in the case of Andor, Lord of the Rings in the case of Rings of Power, that they have to sort of try to fudge those numbers, if you were. So Andor's viewership will go up because people will watch it for free on ABC, Freeform, FX, and Hulu, and that'll be sort of the in for like, hey, you've watched this first episode. If you want to watch the rest, sign up for Disney Plus. Okay, that's what this is. This is sort of like the old sort of often you'd hear the drug dealer on the corner gives you the first one for free just to get you hooked because then he knows you're coming back for more, right? That's what this is. This is, hey, here's the first episode of Andor for free on ABC, Freeform, FX, and Hulu. If you want to watch the rest, sign up for Disney Plus. And therefore, that helps our bottom line, i.e. Disney, as well as fudges the numbers for Andor because now its viewership numbers go up. Right. Same thing that you're seeing now with the Rings of Power in Brazil. They're going to fudge those numbers because what they're saying, because this is how it'll be sold to anybody who asks. It'll be sold that, well, all these people in Brazil signed up to watch Rings of Power. Okay, so therefore Rings of Power gets the credit for bringing these people in, increasing our subscription numbers, therefore getting more return on our investment in the show, conveniently leaving out the fact that we had to send all of them a $30 food coupon, but that's what they're going to do. And so now you're starting to see this trend where you're seeing these big corporations streaming on the streaming side, suddenly realizing we can't just say, okay, here's a $500 million budget, go make your movie, load it up with whatever politics you feel should be in it, and if the fans don't like it, you can just call them all ists and phobes, and it'll be fine. And what they're seeing now is that that's not the case. For instance, Andor. I have not watched Andor. Like I said, I used to be the biggest Star Wars fan on the planet. I have one of those $200 lightsabers in my bedroom on the wall. I have a $2,000 film accurate Boba Fett costume. Okay, I've seen all the movies in the theater when they first came out, up until the Last Jedi. The last Jedi I didn't bother go see, and everything after that I did not go see. The last Star Wars movie I saw in the theater was Rogue One, and that was it, because Disney has effectively killed that franchise to me. As far as I'm concerned, Star Wars is dead. It is dead. It is dead. It's buried. Stop playing with the body. So Andor, to me, I just have no interest in it. And I think there's a lot of Star Wars fans that have just, like the person in the article said, it's just a dead brand at this point. Okay. You're just, you're just playing with the corpse at this point because it's dead. But I digress. The point I wanted to make was you see all of these stories to sort of come out within the same day because there's also going to be massive cuts at Amazon as well. I didn't have time to pull up. There was a story about that as well. Now, that may not be necessarily associated with Prime. That may be just Amazon proper. But since it's the same company, you got to figure there is some sort of spillover between the two. But it's funny because now you're seeing these big companies like Disney and Amazon resorting to these like, hey, we'll give you this first episode for free if you just, if maybe that'll entice you to subscribe to us, or we'll give you $30 in free food if you just sign up and watch the first episode, and then we can sort of pressure you into wanting to watch the rest, and therefore keeping your subscription going. But I don't know how successful that's going to be. I think. I don't think with these particular shows. I mean, I think it's as a business model, there may be something to it. I think these are probably bad shows to try it out with. I don't think. I mean, you may get viewership numbers to get boosted with Andor because it's on ABC, something as big as ABC. Because then you might get a whole lot of. I'll watch that episode. It's free. But I don't think you're going to see boosts in subscription numbers because of it. And I definitely don't think you're going to see that happening in Brazil with Rings of Power. But, I never know. I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this is a sort of the canary in the cage, in the mine, that we may be seeing a sort of shift happening here, and these are like the first hints of it, where these big multi-billion-dollar corporations sort of have to pivot now because of the lackluster response from fans that they've insulted and pissed off over the past couple of years, and now they're starting to see those chickens come home to roost. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you have subscribed already, I thank you very much. We have passed 400, which is freaking awesome. I love you guys. And now let's go for 5. Now let's shoot for 5. Yes, I keep moving the goalposts, and I'm going to keep moving the goalposts because you got to keep moving forward. You got to keep with the energy, keep things going, keep it growing. So thank you, everybody who has subscribed. And if you haven't yet, please, I hope I've earned your subscription, and check out some of the other videos. Until next time, I will see you guys. Peace.